part of the Tony Award-winning play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. How old were you when you first got into theater?
Oh boy, I was 6 when I first did my first show out of school with a wonderful woman named Lee Floden, who I still work with anytime I go back home to Los Angeles. She's absolutely wonderful. But first show I did was Twelfth Night. I played Duke Orsino, which means that the first line is, if music be the food of love, play on. So I went on my little tiny voice and like, if music be the food of love, play on. But I guess the moment that I knew I wanted to be an actor for my life was, or not for my life, but for, a potential career, was when I was 15. I was in a brand new show, where I got to work with the writer of the play. We were doing it for the first time as a two-hander with me and this one playing my mom. And after the show, this guy came up to me and said, I haven't spoken to my son for 5 years, and after this show, I'm gonna go home and call him. And I went, oh, great. I know that I want to do something positive, through whatever medium, and if I can do something positive through this medium, and a medium in which I love, then yeah, I'll try this. I'll try to make a career out of it. So far, it's been nice.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
So were you always drawn to more dramatic roles?
Oh, I don't know. Yes, I guess people trust me with dramatic roles, which is really nice. Also, it's odd because the career I've had out of college has been very brief so far. I graduated in May of 2018, so I've done basically this show. I did a wonderful Chris Durang play coming out of college, a new Chris Durang play, and he's obviously hilariously funny. So I guess any story, no matter how it's told, if I'm interested, I would love to be a part of it, And sometimes the absolute saddest characters are in comedies. So it depends.
It's interesting how you mentioned how you just finished school about a year and a half ago, because now every night on stage you're back in school, but now you're in Hogwarts. So what's it like to be in Hogwarts? Also, does it feel kind of like you've just continually been in school? I've heard that people that once they graduate from school and then once they go into their acting careers, if they're playing a character that's in school, they just kind of feel like they've been a student for this long extended period of time. Does it feel like that, or since you're at Hogwarts, does it feel like this entirely new experience?
Oh boy, I think you're always a student. Whether you're in school, whether you're out of school, you're always learning. So in that sense, you're always a student. But yeah, I've been in love with Hogwarts and the Wizarding World since I can remember, and I was so sad when the books were over, and then when the movies were over, and realizing that was it. That was my chance to be a part of that world, beyond reading the books and feeling like I had ownership in that way. It was over, and I knew I wanted to be an actor, and I wasn't acting in any of the movies, so that was it. And then this came out, and then that was a lovely moment. That was a lovely little twist of fate. But I feel like I'm doing a job now. I'm learning, but in a very different and separate way from school. I'm learning from doing the same show over and over and over, and learning how to create that stamina, and learning how to constantly discover new stuff. And with a script like this and a story like this, it is so easy to find new stuff constantly. So that's very fun. Yeah.
So it's interesting how you said that you were familiar with the Harry Potter franchise and the Harry Potter books. Did you read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child before you joined the play?
No. Yes. Barely.
They're pretty long.
Before my last audition. So, oh man, this is the first time I'm saying this on public record. If Sonia Friedman ever watches this, please forgive me. But I didn't want to read the play because I didn't know if I was going to get the role. So I got the sides, and I could kind of figure out from the sides that like me and Scorpius are good friends. And, okay, so that's what I know about that. And maybe me and my dad's relationship is a bit fraught, but I don't really know why. I got to parse that together and did the audition, the first audition. Got a callback, did the movement callback, got a callback for acting and movement. Did the acting audition again without having read the script, because the whole time I was like, I don't want to read it before I see it. I want to see the play, and if I don't get this, then I will have read it, not gotten the role, and then still later I will see the play, and I don't want any spoilers before I see it. So finally it got to like my final audition where they were like, okay, we're gonna bring you in for all the producers, and this is the big one. This is like where it's like down to you and a few other people. And I don't know, I think I should finally read the play. and so I did, and I remember it was the most amazing, I called my best friend, my real life Scorpius, I called him and I was like, if I get this will be the coolest thing in my life. And then yeah, I did. But that was a stretch to go all the way until the final audition trying not to read the script. Because usually it's a great idea to read the script, get to know everything you can, and this was the one condition where I was like, I just don't want spoilers just in case I don't get it. And when I finally read it, yeah, it was delightful. It was wonderful.
Great. It's an interesting approach to it.
I know. Well, because I was approaching it as a fan the entire time. I mean, it felt like such an amazing thing to say that I'm auditioning to be in the wizarding world. That's not normal. And it felt like I just got a few moments, and still feels like I get a few moments to like go back into being led into that secret that J.K. Rowling gave all of us in the beginning, of like the secret that we're all wizards, like, and that we all get to be in that. And whether you're in the audience or whether you're in the play, like there's this beautiful moment where everybody's in the theater, and it's 1,600 people worth of people who know that they're wizards. Just for a second, I love that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you mentioned in your audition how
Yeah.
there was a movement aspect of it. Did
Yeah.
that have to do with wand wielding,
Yes, it
things
did.
like that? Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that audition process and how the wizardry that came with the audition process?
Yeah, I hadn't, I was just getting out of college, and I hadn't pretended to wave a wand since I was, for like 8 years at that point. And so to be given the permission to like, what they said was at the beginning, it was like, we're gonna do a movement piece about your first time learning how to use your wand. Like as though you're like at Ollivander's, and all of a sudden like the wand chooses the wizard, and like the wand lights up, but now you have to like tame it, and like it tries to latch out and tries to poke you, so you put it down, but then like elsewhere, and it's all in 9/8 time signature. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but whoa, was it fun. Because like it stopped mattering like if you got the steps right, and at a certain point it kind of stopped mattering that I was in the audition. Once again, it was just like me as like as a fan being able to pretend to wield a wand, and that was that audition was worth everything. And then beyond that, it was an extra bonus that I got to audition after that, and then to do that movement piece every night is terrific. But I remember that one audition was just a blast. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite scene to play, whether it's a wand wielding scene, or do you have a favorite scene as an actor compared to as a fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the beautiful thing about this play is it deals with such amazingly complex issues, like and the amount of detail and care that is given to those issues is astounding. So as an actor, to really explore the relationship between a father and a son, and it's not just, this is what I love about this play, is that like I feel that there are spectacle shows and then there are plays, and a spectacle show, like you have a scene maybe between the big magic moments, and the scene is just a lead up to the big magic moment. But if you were to take out all of the magic in this show, I am absolutely sure it would still hold up as a play, and I really believe in this play. Like I really believe in what it talks about, the way it deals with things, the lessons. I don't think it teaches any lessons. I think it brings up a lot of questions that I think are really worth asking. about relationships and friendships and decisions and loyalty and all that, really, really personal, intimate things. And so that didn't answer your question about a scene. The only reason is because the scene that I'm thinking of has a lot of plot twists, and I want people to be able to see those plot twists take place. But yeah, there are a bunch of scenes.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because we could kind of shift focus to that thing too. What do you think is more challenging to play, without giving away any spoilers? The kind of scenes that are more spectacle and more wizarding related, or the scenes that are really actor scenes, you know, that have very
Which are
dramatic...
more difficult?
I mean, one might think that, you know, wielding a wand, or there's a part where you're in a tub of water on stage. I'm sure that's physically challenging, but is that more challenging to do, kind of the physically demanding parts, or the...
Some days the entire show is the hardest thing I've ever done, and other times it's an absolute breeze, and it's gone within a second. I'm sorry I don't have a more definitive answer, but it really depends. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I once did the show right as I was getting over like a really bad cold. Like I had a cold for Monday and Tuesday, and so that was exhausting. And you know, you get off and you still have always learned things. I had a injury in my hip at one point, because there was there was a trick where I had been losing weight because I'd been working out because of the show, but one of the tricks was going a little bit wrong, so like I got a hip injury after a while, and it meant that I had to adjust my performance to fit the hip injury, and it taught me like so much. And it's like, just be simpler. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, that didn't answer.
No, that's so cool. I love hearing about on-stage experiences like that.
Yeah.
So let's switch your focus to the character of Albus. First off, how does it feel to play a character that's the son of one of the most iconic characters of all time?
Terrific. It feels wonderful. It's intimidating because you come out and it's like everybody loves Harry Potter and everybody feels like they have a lot of ownership over the original books. And I think there is a reasonable amount of skepticism that comes in, being like, okay, so you're going to give me another? Let's see. Okay, fine, show me. Like, there are definitely audience members who will come and go, all right, let's see. And being sort of the physical embodiment of like the new story is a little, sometimes makes me a little bit wary of like, no, I promise you guys are going to like it, I promise. Because inevitably people do like it, which is great. And that's mostly having to do with a lot of genius that is not mine. That's, you know, Stephen Hoggett and like John Tiffany and all these amazing creatives who came up with how to do this play, this monster of a play. But it really does feel wonderful because, I mean, as I was saying, with like the ownership we all have over all these characters, it feels as though I have just as much as anyone who's read the books. And I am doing my interpretation, and I know that people all over the world right now are doing their interpretations, you know, in Australia and London and San Francisco, like, and all of them are totally valid, and all of them are wonderful, and we all get a crack at it, just as every person got a crack at their imagination reading the books. Oh man.
In the song that you wrote, Pigeons, you mentioned Albus and Scorpius' relationship. They could be kind of more than friends, or there's a line that kind of insinuates that type of relationship. So what are your thoughts on their relationship, and how do they play out on stage?
I mean, it's one of my favorite relationships I've ever had the opportunity to perform, because I think it is so deeply human and of that age. And God, I love the two boys. I especially love the guy who's playing across from me. So that is an honor to be playing across from someone like that. As far as their relationship, I play it from where I am as an actor, across from the person who I have as an actor, and I think it grows. I think it fluctuates throughout the performance, and I think we are left with such a beautiful. At the end of the play, they have a wonderful last scene. Scorpius and Albus, you know, where like they're talking about like this event that has happened at the school, which is very fun. It's a very fun scene to play. And at the end of that scene, it leaves the future of of their friendship and of their relationship, sort of as open and complex and intriguing, and I love that, because I think this is a play that touches on so many topics so lightly and so wonderfully, and once again opens up a lot of questions that I think a lot of audience members really resonate with.